Aha, we are live. We are live.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody out there. Yes. Sam, why don't you introduce us this time?
All right, all right.
Hello,
Well,
hello.
I am Sam Shukavage, and with me is my father, David Shukavage, the president and founder of Carolina Retirement Planners. And I usually say, and as always behind the scenes, but today it's a little bit different. Today, running the ship by herself is the lovely Miss Kristen Owen. Uh, as we have given Amy the afternoon off to go
Hello,
do
hello.
fall festival. So we have Kristen with us. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, guys. Happy
Thank
to
you
be
for-
here.
Thank you for doing this with us today.
Absolutely.
So y'all be kind today. Say hi to Kristen. She's working the madness from behind the scenes for us.
Making
And
all this work.
And as always, we come to you live every Thursday at 4:30 to bring to you a little bit of, camaraderie as well as financial tidbits for half an hour here over a beverage of your choosing. And yeah. So Dad, how are you doing this afternoon?
I am doing good. I am doing good. Been a busy day, and right after this, I got to scoot over to uh, to
Brunswick Community
Leland,
College.
Brunswick Community College in
Yeah.
Leland, and do one of our tax workshops there. And actually next week on both Monday at 1 p.m. and Tuesday and Thursday,
No.
Tuesday at 1 p.m. and Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to start the big retirement workshop. It's like 2 sessions, teach 5 different things, and we still have some room. And we have the last ones we'll hold this year. So if you're interested in coming, type into the system there you'd like to,
or email info@carolinarp.com or call our office.
815-3100. We'll fix you up with a spot.
Yeah.
So get them before it completely fills up. So
Yeah.
nice, right there near Compass Point, just the side of Compass Point. It's 10 minutes from the bridge, very convenient, nice facilities. Okay, yes.
Yeah. And as always, we don't know that you're here unless you tell us you're here. So feel free to type hi into the chat and let us know you're here. And in the meantime, each day of the year is some kind of national day. And today was kind of slim pickings, I think.
I think you're right there, Sam.
Yeah, today was like kind of a weird one. And Kristen, what was the best one that we found from the bunch?
Well, we had to reach back in history a little bit. It comes from the Victorian era, and we went with it's National Brandied Fruit Day.
Brandied Fruit Day.
Fruit Day, okay.
So we asked
Dad,
everybody what their favorite fruit was.
Dad, have you ever had a brandied fruit?
I think I have, but it's been a while. It's just like there's none of that in the cupboard. Well, something like that may not last very long in the cupboard.
Back when I was in college, we used to soak our fruit. We used to like make big patches of, it was maybe vodka. It was like vodka and juice, and you throw a bunch of fruit in there and you drink it, and then you'd eat the fruit, and it would feel, I don't know. I don't think we felt fancy. It was not fancy, but that was kind of our version of brandied fruit, I guess.
I had a friend up near Corning who would take a jar of cherries and marinate them on vodka for like 3 months. And then you'd eat the cherries, then drink the vodka.
Yeah, that sounds pretty nice. But
I think I might have had one of those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those are maybe ones with brandy during my time at a Packers game while I was in Wisconsin. Can't quite recall. Might have been due to the cherries.
That's right. I think we asked people what their favorite fruit was. And I think we got pineapple, apples, and plums. Dad, what's your favorite fruit?
That's hard to say. Probably peaches. There's nothing like the perfect peach.
It's hard to
But
find.
I've been eating a lot of blackberries. Blackberries are good, low sugar fruit, and I
Mhm.
can be fond of a good blackberry. But folks, just we need to get to work eventually. We
Okay.
are we are going to talk today about hidden taxes in retirement. And there's several cases of that. I want to talk about what they are and what you might be able to do about it. But let's say hi before we start. Let's say hi to some of the folks that have joined us. Bruce is here, and Jay and Carter, as usual, are here. Dan is and Barb are here. They're checking in from the mountains where they live now. Roy, it's good to see you here. Brenda is joined us as well. Brent, Skip, Brenda Armstrong, our own Brenda Armstrong is here. Phil, it's good to see you. Kim, and you're apparently up in Wake Forest, or yeah, I guess you are now. And then Miranda is here as well. So good to see
Thanks y'all
you.
for joining us.
But let's kind of plunge into the point at heart, the part at heart. And so we're going to talk about hidden taxes, especially in retirement. And the first one is what you is the taxes you pay on your Social Security. And it gets even kind of worse than that. But you know, all these years we've been paying money into Social Security. After we pay taxes, we take some and we put it into Social Security. And then when we retire, hit 62 or 65 or somewhere between 62 and 70, we start our Social Security flowing. Now, it used to be that they didn't tax it. You'd already paid the taxes. It didn't seem fair to tax it again. But in around 1980, Social Security was running out of money. And a committee got together and decided one strategy was to, what they said, tax your Social Security. And they did it. And by taxing it, what they do is they take part of it and they add it to your taxable income. So that part of your Social Security is taxed at your normal rates. And how much tax you pay depends on what's called combined income. And combined income is what they do is they take all your normal income, you know, whether you have a pension, whether you have money from your IRAs, whether you're still working, whether you're getting any interest off, you know, CDs and things like that, all the normal stuff. Plus, they take half your Social Security. Plus, they take the income from your tax-free muni bonds. Are muni bonds taxed, Sam?
No.
Yeah, they're not taxed, but they use that money to determine if we're gonna tax your Social Security. Isn't that cute? And they add that up. And if you're single and that amount is over 25,000, or you're married and that amount is over 32,000, they're going to start adding your Social Security into your taxable income, and it can be anywhere from 0 to 85% as you get higher and higher. And people don't even know really that this happens. It kind of appears on your tax return when you get it. there's some interesting things here. One is they started this back in 1984. And back then, having, for instance, a married couple having $32,000 in this combined income is equivalent to having about $90,000 today. See, they never inflated this as time went on. They never increased it. So they have the same rates they did back in the 80s. So you would have to be back then making 90,000. Today you need to be making $90,000 or so to get that same. So a lot less people were affected. Now most everybody is infected. Affected. For instance, if you're a married couple bringing in, say you retired, you worked really well, and you put the most money into your retirement as you could. You waited to 70 to start it. You might get as much as $40,000 in Social Security. Your spouse would be getting half of that, say 20. So you'd be up to 60. Half of that is now $30,000, and the limit is 32. You put in a little bit of interest, you're already over it. If you've got pensions or other places you're getting money from, your IRAs, RMDs, it puts you over it very easily. So one way they were able to increase taxes is just to let these limits sit. Here's the other thing about it that's sort of sneaky is, and it's actually a good sneaky. If you think about it, a lot of people don't, I never knew where this money went. I always figured it went into the general fund. But no, the taxes on your Social Security actually go back into Social Security. And think about it now. If I'm if I'm the government and I give you $60,000 in Social Security, and then I put it in your taxable income, and I charge you, I know, $10,000 tax on that, and I put it back into Social Security. Have I really taxed your Social Security as much as reduced your benefits? Because what they're doing is they're taxing it and putting back in. So when they came up with this as a tax, what they're really doing is decreasing our Social Security benefits. And the more you earn, the higher the tax bracket you're in, the higher the tax you pay on it, the more of it goes back into Social Security. They reduce it even more for folks. Now, what can you do about this? Well, it's getting tougher and tougher. I should have left the blank thing up, but I didn't. So let me make some room here. What you want to do is you can think of taxes as in three buckets. The first bucket is we could call it taxable, or you might call tax now bucket. What do you think's in this bucket, Sam?
Wages, interest from CDs, dividends.
Dividends, capital gains. The next bucket is is tax later bucket, tax deferred. What do you think's in this bucket?
IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, TSPs.
401As that I just learned about.
Ooh. 401A out there. And the last one is the tax, everyone's favorite, the tax-free bucket, maybe called the never taxed bucket. What's in this one?
Your Roths, also the cash value of life insurance or life insurance. And as we just discussed, kind of muni bonds.
Right. The way you reduce taxes in retirement is to move money this way. You want to really get your money, most folks get it into Roths. They take their IRA money and get it up into Roths so it grows tax-free. There's ways you can take your wages and put it into a Roth. If most of your money's in a Roth doesn't count towards taxing your Social Security. So that's one way to reduce the tax on Social Security, is maybe over the next few years, get your money into this tax-free world, and then that'll reduce or eliminate the tax on your Social Security. And there's a lot of things you got to know. You got to know how much headroom you have in your tax bracket. We've covered that, and a lot of people pay us to help them figure out all those calculations. That we work for them, and that's what we do. So that is Social Security. That's the first thing where we have more in taxes. The second thing is called IRMA. Now, anybody out there have a guess as to what IRMA stands for? I won't have you type it in, it'll take too long. But IRMA stands for Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And it is the amount of tax, the amount they charge you for Medicare. Now, you might be thinking you're getting Medicare for free because you've been paying into it all these years. But there's two parts to Medicare. There's A and there's B. When you have Medicare, B has a payment everybody has to pay, and that's a minimum of $170 per month. Although I think it's going to go down next year, but a little bit. But everybody pays $170 a month to have their Medicare. For most people, it's taken out of your Social Security payments. The thing is, how much this is dependent on how much you make. So if your adjusted gross income is less than 182,000, everybody pays the 170,000. If you go $1 or maybe a penny over 182,000, they're going to make you pay $238 2 years later for that year's Medicare Part B. And that's $68 more per person, or $816 more a year. Or now, if you go $1 over, if you're married, you go $1 over 228, they're going to make you pay $340, or an extra $100, or a total of $1,225. You're going to actually, if you run the numbers, you're going to be paying $2,000 more than the person that had a lower income. And so far, you can see it going up. And this is, again, your adjusted gross income, and it's not just your taxable income. It's before you subtract any deductions. Again, if you're single, everything's like half. Instead of 182, it's 91. So this is something people don't even know it's happening. All of a sudden, more is deducted from their Social Security. So what do you do about this? Well, if you're back to these 3 buckets and you're moving money up this way, besides just taxes, you need to think about these IRMA limits, and will I increase the amount I pay for IRMA? Now, the IRMA only goes on for 1 year on a year-by-year basis. So you might want to make a big one, pay more 1 year, and get your stuff into a Roth and reduce taxes on Social Security. Again, there's a lot of calculations, and that's something you need to usually work with an advisor who's going to be able to help you figure this out. That's why people essentially hire us. But this is the second thing, that people don't even know what IRMA is, that it exists, and a lot of times they'll do something 2 years later, they get whopped by bigger premiums. Now, this is kind of dry stuff. So I got to thinking about IRMA. IRMA kind of, I thought, who else famous, what other IRMAs do we know? And I picked 2. This one is IRMA Capiz, Minutolo. She was born in 1935. She's a famous Italian opera singer. She's also known that besides singing in the opera, she was one of the last companions to King Farouk the First of Egypt. So she is one of the big famous Irmas from history. And Irma, we all probably may remember, is Hurricane Irma. In 2017, one of the biggest hurricanes to date clobbered the islands down here, came in there as a 4. You can see it grazed, it was a 4 down here. Let me get a different color. It was a 4 down here when it grazed Cuba, kind of hit Florida as a 4 and then decreased as it worked up the west coast of Florida. So this is another famous Irma in life. I thought Irma Bombeck, one of my favorites, would work, but she's actually ERMA, you know. So that one really doesn't. I couldn't bring that one in. Oh, lots of good Irma Bombeck jokes.
I think I like the second Irma the best.
Yeah, or you mean the Irma Bombeck?
I like the opera singer.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so anyhow, I thought I'd bring a little civility into this. Now, there's another place that we kind of have taxes that we may not think about. And that is, if you wanted to say leave, let's say you wanted to leave $10,000 to your charity. You know, in fact, I'll make it even easier. I'm going to say we want to leave $1,000 to our charity this year. And some folks came in and they said, I want to leave $1,000 to my church or my charity. Most people, they take this from their IRA, right? And let's say today, it used to be you could itemize deductions more easily. The itemization limit has gone up, way up, right? So if you want to leave $1,000 to charity, you're probably going to have to pay tax on it. Let's say you were in a 30% tax bracket, you know, state and federal, you were in 30%. How much, Sam, do you think you'd have to take out of your IRA to leave 1,000 of it to charity?
$30.
Well, at 30%, I think it'd be $300, right?
Whoops.
Okay,
$3.
so $1,300. I'd have to take $1,300 and then give $300 to the IRS. But that's not the way it works exactly, because I got to pay tax on that $300 as well. I took out $1,300 times 30%. You're going to find out you're going to have to take out another $90 to pay the taxes on the $300. So, you know, it's kind of like, without the deductions, I can't do what I used to do. There's a couple ways to get around this. One is, depending where you are, you can bundle up and do take 2 or 3 years worth of deductions out at once, so you're high enough to take a tax deduction, and then you can deduct it. A way that many people, if you are 70 and a half or older, not 72, but 70 and a half or earlier, you can do a qualified charitable distribution. We do this all the time for people in that time. You can go to your IRA, who has your IRA, you fill out the right form, and you can say, send money from my IRA directly to charity. And that way I don't have to pay tax on it. It doesn't enter into my tax, and they can get the full 1,000. It doesn't cost me $13.90 to do it. So the qualified charitable distribution is the way. There's some charitable trust you can set up where you can make a big donation now and dole it out later and get a big deduction. But I'm not going to try to cover all that today. But these are some of the hidden taxes that you may not be thinking about. And the idea, again, if I can get money into the tax-free world, Roth accounts, life insurance, I can perhaps reduce the amount later that I'm going to be taxed on my Social Security and my Medicare. Okay, well that was so that was that. We have some offers, right? We're getting close to the top of the hour. We have, if
I
you'd
was
like,
just thinking that we might have a little something to give away.
we have something to give away. Tax strategies for retirement, the 3 buckets. This is the one that talks about that and can help you understand how the bucketing works. If you're interested in reducing taxes, if you either give us your contact information, or how can they get in touch with us? Amy, will you put the email?
Kristen, it's Kristen today.
I'm having a good time.
Kristen,
Yeah.
you're doing such an excellent job that he forgot that it wasn't Amy.
Oh my
It-
goodness, that's such a compliment. I'll be Amy any day. But
Well,
I did put it in the comments for you guys. Send an email or leave your information and we'll get one of those sent out to you.
And again, if you have ever taken one of our classes, you know that we don't teach boring classes. Tell your friends last time this year to call us 815-3100, book some spots either on the next 2 Monday afternoons or the next 2 Thursday evenings. And I think we can accommodate a few more people and get them in, or come for a refresher yourself or bring friends. Like I say, people are always surprised that they were not bored in the least, because I have much better rehearsed jokes when it comes to those. So what comes next, Sam?
It's our wine drawing. Each week we give away 2 bottles of wine shipped directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop. And if you don't think you're in this jar and you don't know how to get in, it's easy. Each week we'll put out a little thing on Facebook, that a little event notification, and all you have to do is click "I'm coming." And if you do, we will get you in here. And if you share the event with a friend, we'll get you in here an additional time. If you're on our email list, we'll let you know what the topic is each week. And if you respond to that email and say, get me in the wine drawing, or respond with your favorite fruit, or whatever the question may be for that week, we'll get you in here as well. And so the winner of 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to their door from Fermental Bottle Shop is Kim and Dan S.
No,
So
Kim and-
congratulations, Kim and Dan. You are our wine winners this week.
And it is right there at the top of the hour. We've enjoyed being with you once again for a happy half hour. We will come back next Thursday. And again, you can get your copy of the Tax Strategies book. And that's on real paper, delivered to your door by a uniformed employee of the U.S. government. So you don't have to try to read it on your cell phone. And don't forget the class, the workshop we're doing. Be sure to get there if you can. And with that, you all have a great evening and a great weekend.
Bye, guys. Cheers.
Bye.